Welcome back to Encouraging Things. Today we're going to be making a spaceship. Now for a long time I've been working in plasmapheresis, and that's the collection of human plasma from blood. And when you work in plasmapheresis, you collect a lot of medical waste. Not disgusting medical waste, nothing with blood in it or anything like that, but you collect a lot of caps, a lot of things that cover up tubes, a lot of things that keep things sterile. And when you collect enough of it, it starts to pile up very quickly. So a while ago I had this idea of making something only out of material that you'd find as medical waste. Initially I was only going to use things that came from my employment. However, I found that those items were very tiny and difficult to use. Now in some of my past builds you'd find that I'd have used some of these parts to add greeblies to things, and so I decided that's what I would do. But I still wanted to keep that medical nature. And so you'll find some additional medical items in here, including some measuring cups for cough syrup, and oddly enough, bottle caps for water bottles, because if you're donating plasma you do have to stay hydrated, so I kind of counted that. There are one or two other items that are very loosely based on medical, but I didn't try to stretch it too far. I really wanted to stick to something that would be considered medical or medicine. As this is my first truly original build, that's not based in any other world, I felt it was important to give it a story. The story takes place in an alternate history Cold War, where space travel is more common, and spaceships are used in a more militaristic fashion. In 1987, in the middle of the Cold War, the Russians decided that if they were going to invade America, they would need a way to get medical supplies from Russia to the United States quickly and efficiently. So in secret, they built a medical ship and launched it into a high orbit to await orders to drop medical personnel and supplies to any destination within the United States or across the world. In honor of one of Russia's founding medical personnel for space, they named the ship the Gazenko, after Oleg Georgievich Gazenko, who joined the space agency in 1955. A year later, Gazenko would retire, but his namesake would continue to orbit the planet until the end of the Cold War in 1991, when Russia would decommission the ship, removing all of its personnel, save for one person, to remain in orbit, hidden, in case the ship was needed again. Many years later, on an undisclosed date, the United States stumbled upon the medical ship Gazenko, still in high orbit, with its lights off, transmitting no signals. Finding a single open airlock, the American astronauts entered the ship, where they found no one. No signs of life, no crew, completely empty. An audio log, dated October 3rd, 1996, was the last entry from any crew member on board the ship, and it stated the following.
Таблетки уже не действуют. Теперь они приходят ко мне быстрее. Я должен покинуть это место.
When the ship's discovery was reported to the Russian government, Russia immediately sent a rescue team to go recover the ship. However, in an obscure report several weeks later, it was stated that the Gazenko and its rescue team was lost when a fire of unknown origin detonated the remaining fuel in the fuel tanks. Following this report, no further mentions of the Gazenko were made, and the whereabouts of the final crew member are, to this day, unknown. And now I'd like to go ahead and give a big shout out to my patrons, those people who support me over on Patreon. Of course, I do want to make a mention to everybody who supports me here on YouTube as well. Everybody who clicks on a video, who watches, who likes, who subscribes, who clicks the bell, who comes back for more content. Those people who come back to the same content over and over again. And especially those people who love to leave comments to let me know whether or not I'm doing a good job. I appreciate each and every one of you. But of course, for those people who take the extra step to help support the channel, they do get a special mention here in the video, and I thank them and you all very much. And if you'd like to help support the channel, for as little as $1 a month, you too can do so over on Patreon. However, if for any reason you cannot, I accept support in so many different ways. Subscribing, liking the video, giving it a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and again, coming back to watch the videos and coming back to watch new content. I do love a good comment as well. I reply to every comment, so I do appreciate every comment that comes through, positive or negative. So again, if you'd like to support the channel, do so in whatever way you can and whatever way you want to. And as always, thank you. I wanted to talk about the fact that I really enjoy bad movies. Not bad movies, not movies that are bad, or not movies that are good, but try to act like they're bad. I mean really bad movies. And that would be movies that really wanted to be good movies, and they tried so hard, and they stretched their budget as far as it would go. And they asked their friends, and they got their family, and their sister who just got out of college for acting. And they grabbed their 16mm camera and they ran out into the woods and they made their movie. Somehow, someone somewhere decided to publish it, to put it up on the big screen. And now they languish at 2 o'clock in the morning on obscure cable channels, where you might accidentally stumble upon one as you're flipping through, hoping to find something better to watch. It's those movies that I love. The ones where you can sit and you can point and you can say, oh my god, I know that actor. And they're terrible. They're terrible. But you can say, look at the strings. You can tell that's a model. A lot of those films came out in the 50s and the 60s, 70s. During a time when everyone thought that they could just make a movie as long as they had a camera. But you still see them today. Most of the time people refer to them as college films. Your masterpiece of college work, as it were. And as technology has gotten better, anybody can make a good-looking film. Simply because with digital, you can erase and start again. Infinite possibility of shots. But I like those movies that tell a really good story in a really bad way. And you think to yourself, it'd be great if they remade this, but it'd lose so much of the effect. Because part of what makes those movies so great is the fact that they do look like they do. And if you were to take a modern film, modern camera, high definition, digital assets, and put them all together and try to tell the same story in the same way, you'd lose the campiness of it. You'd lose the shining bronze pride. That smile that you get knowing that you came in third place, but you're still standing next to the two that came in first and second. I love those types of movies. And I feel like when I was making this prop, that's what I was going for. And as you saw in the intro, it very much lives up to my expectations. But I'm proud of that. Because I didn't work hard. I didn't work hard to make it the way it is. But I did put a lot of love into it. I put my amount of effort into it. And when I look at it, I see flaws. And I see problems. And I see things that are very much not perfect. But I made it. I had an idea, I put it together, and I made it. And so as it sits on my desk, taking up space that I really don't have, it makes me smile. Not just as a reminder of those old props from ancient days that are falling apart in some guy's garage or in a trash heap somewhere because nobody cared enough to keep them, but because it's something I put my hands to. I put my heart in. I thought about. And I designed. And now it exists. Small and ugly and terrible. But it exists. So it makes me happy. Because of that, I encourage each and every one of you to find a pile of random things, whether it comes from your job or somebody else's job. You find it in a thrift store, find it at a hobby shop, find it in a dustbin. Take those things, take some glue, glue them together, throw on some paint, and make yourself a terrible little spaceship or a terrible little building, and then look at it and know that you made something that didn't exist before. And I promise, every time you look at it, it'll make you smile. And as always, thank you for watching.